I'm Lisa Prather, and welcome to The Voice of Health with our host, Dr. Robert Prather of Holistic Integration, where lives are changed every day through the natural approach to healthcare. As we approach Thanksgiving week, we are so grateful for our patients at Holistic Integration. We're inspired daily in our office by their success stories. So this week, we're sharing some of those stories to inspire you on your own health journey. First, we're joined by Rebecca. Welcome, Rebecca.
Thank you.
And Howard heads up our DTS Weight Loss program. Glad you're here, Howard.
I'm very happy to be here.
Okay. Well, Rebecca, you have had some great success through the DTS Weight Loss program, and I want to talk about that. What brought you into Holistic Integration?
The first reason why I came was I was having some back problems and back pain. And so that was the initial thing that I came in for. Mm-hmm. But when I found out that you guys also had a weight loss program, then I decided to also do that program as well.
So you scheduled with Howard. Explain that first appointment.
For me, it went really well. I felt like our personalities clicked. I felt like he was someone who would definitely be able to motivate me. Mm-hmm. And I felt like it was somebody who could give me direction, because I had been on this weight loss roller coaster for years where it seemed like every month I was starting a diet with no success. And so I really needed someone to point me the right way and tell me what to do, because I wasn't doing anything right.
And Howard, do you remember that first meeting with Rebecca?
I do. As she says, I'm big on being me at all times. And the first thing that I try to do, just order of importance, is get to know the individual I'm sitting in front of. And as she said, our personalities did mesh really well. And she did let me know that what she needed. And she needed guidance, she needed instruction, she needed to be educated on how she could change herself and keep herself changed. And I gave what she asked for, and she received it, and she's come in week after week after week and has made nothing but progress every week.
Yes, let's talk about that progress. You started the program, there was an evaluation. Mm-hmm. What was that like?
My first evaluation was actually on my very first appointment when I met with Dr. Prather. And he came in, and I knew I was fat. And if you would have said I was obese, I would have gladly nodded and said, yes, I will accept that. But when he came back into the room and said that my numbers showed that I was morbidly obese, that was just like a knife to the heart. Mm-hmm. And I think that put a fire under me to not be morbidly obese, because I want to be very active with my family and with my kids, with my granddaughter. Mm-hmm. And so I think that kind of changed my mindset on, okay, this isn't something I need to kind of do. This is something I have to do in order to be healthy, to spend time with my family. I decided to be very committed at that point, and I had accountability because my husband was behind me in this journey. And I mean, I come in and I see Howard, and so there's accountability there.
And quickly, I'm sorry, I'm just getting excited inside. As you brought your husband up, and as you've been taking your journey, and how you're noticing your journey is inspiring those that watch you in this journey, how has it affected the individuals around you?
So for my husband, he eats like I eat. I know when he's in front of me. I don't know about when he's not in front of me. But when he's at home and we're eating, he's eating exactly the same as I am. And he's lost about 30 pounds while I've been on my journey.
So how does Howard hold you accountable? What is that like?
Well, you have to come in and stand on a scale, and another person sees that number. And it's different than when you're at home and you're in the privacy of your own bathroom standing on a scale. And you're like, okay. But when you know that another person is going to see that number, for me, that's an accountability for me. And so I want that number to not only be good for me and good for my journey, but I like it when Howard gets excited because there's been progress made. So that helps me even further in my journey.
What would you like to say about that, Howard, and the accountability piece?
Well, I try to be as honest as possible. I avoid any narratives that need to be created for comfort of myself or the patient because it's not helpful. And we have this wonderful device called the Fit 3D, and it takes about 2,000 images of your body. It gives me all the specs, all the percentages, everything that I might need to be able to evaluate the trends of your body, to be able to structure the bridge, so to speak, from body A to body B. So it's not necessarily an emotional positioning of accountability because the patient is the authority in the room. So the accountability realistically is off of our relationship. Most of our patients don't want to let me down because I am doing my best to help, and they see that. So they want to give me their best, and it tends to work out that way.
Yeah, Howard's great to work with, isn't he?
Awesome.
Yeah. So Dr. Prather came in. We always do a bioimpedance test because it's very important to know body fat percentage. What was your body fat percentage when you first came in?
I believe it was 47.7%.
Okay, and you're saying that very quietly, and I understand.
High.
And you're a little thing.
Yes.
And that's almost 50% of your body was fat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the question was, when you began, what was your body fat percentage? And you said...
She whispered.
47.
You whispered it. 47.7.
Because that's a large number.
What was your body fat percentage today?
27.7.
Oh my gosh. 27.7. That's 20% body fat you've lost. How long have you been in the program, the DTS program?
6 months.
Wow, losing 20% body fat. You
Yeah.
just think about your health and the changes you've made.
I feel so much better, so much more energetic. I can definitely tell a difference in how I feel.
Didn't you over the holidays go hiking, and you
Yes.
couldn't keep up, or you would be left in the dust? And
Yes, and I kept up on that hike. We went hiking out in Texas, which is a lot of desert area. And we hiked about 5 miles, and it was a great day. I enjoyed it, and I could have gone further.
And I know you spend a lot of time with your granddaughter.
Yes.
You know, you have to get up and down from the floor. You have to have a lot of energy for a 5-year-old. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I do have to have a lot of energy, but I love the fact that I am blessed that I
Yeah.
get to spend every day with her.
So, Howard, let's talk about working with Rebecca. You did the diagnostics first, the Fit 3D.
Absolutely.
And then starting her program, you do a food sensitivity test. Is that what she started with?
That is correct. I like to work around as accurate of data as possible, and we have access to a food sensitivity test that to a 94 percentile of accuracy, it indicates the foods that the body is tolerant or intolerant to. So to create a complete meal plan, we structure and regiment serving sizes, and then we isolate foods that are good for the patient, whether that be removing inflammation or increasing any structure in the body that may need improvement. So yes, that's the way that we get to a complete meal plan or a meal structure. And then we offset the meal plan or structure by exercise, and the exercise looks different for everybody depending upon what's going on with the body, the current climate inside of the body, what we're correcting, and then we sort of iron out the order of importance.
I like that's, what you do is you make it very individual. That's what we're all about, holistic integration. Everybody's an individual. What works for one person might, but this food sensitivity test, do you remember what you found on that?
A lot of interesting findings.
Yeah.
No dairy.
Dairy was not good for you.
No,
Yeah.
and that was part of the problem, was there were some things that I was eating that I thought were healthy and good choices, but they weren't for me. And so finding out the food sensitivity, taking those foods out and substituting them with other things has made a big difference for me. Things that I was eating that I shouldn't have been eating.
Yeah.
I've been able to find substitutes that I like just as much or even more, even better.
Yeah. And did you see results right away? Because it really focuses on inflammation in the body, correct?
I would say that any digestive issues that I had really improved within the first 2 weeks of taking out those foods. That made a huge difference on how I felt a lot of times after I ate, and any digestive issues that were going on.
That's a big deal. And you helped her through that.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that we are at this point in the conversation, because what a lot of us fail to realize is how food impacts the way we perceive our realities. Every 33, 34 days, literally, your body rebuilds itself with the food that you eat. But the thing about our society is none of us truly know what it is we are supposed to actually eat. We adopt a one-size-fits-all society standard, and it works for some of us and it doesn't work for others of us. And to have a way to pinpoint exactly what foods are good for said individual is realistically, in my opinion, the only way to truly heal an individual for the long run. Because if we're guessing, the probability of making an error is extremely high. If we're working with science, the probability of making an error is extremely low. So to lower the probability of an error when you're dealing with a human life is extremely important. So that's one of the reasons that I like to work around food sensitivity. And to remove inflammation from the body is to remove disease processes. It's to remove brain fog. It's to remove a diminished quality of life. It's to remove a lot more than just inflammation. And statistically speaking, I believe it's anywhere from 15 to 20 pounds that average American retains throughout their days in just inflammatory weight.
Wow.
So to get that weight off of the body will just improve the quality of life, and everyone deserves to have a good quality of life, I feel.
Yeah, we talked about body fat percentage, which is more important than weight, but how much weight did you lose?
How much weight? I don't know the exact
my gosh.
number of how much weight I've lost.
We would have
You're
to
focusing
calculate.
on the body fat percentage.
I do know that it is over 50 pounds that I've lost.
Yeah.
Probably closer to 55 right now.
And I like that your whole focus is it, and it's more on the body fat percentage, which is more important.
Absolutely.
Anyway, yeah.
Yes.
What would you like to say about working with Rebecca?
To keep it short, you're amazing. And the work you do, like I give you the spiels in there every week, but to understand that what you're doing is amazing, because it is not easy. And to put trust into a stranger, and to truly trust that stranger, and then to follow through with whatever direction that stranger gives you, and then you do it to a T, and you come in week after week after week with consistent improvement. I'm a fan. You know, I appreciate your presence every week when you're here, and I've even given her examples of how she inspires me even in my journey, because we've all got a journey or a process going on, and to surround yourself with people that inspire you through their hard work, I thank you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, we'll be right back. Holistic Integration is excited to announce the launch of our very own dietary and herbal supplement line, Stasis Supplements. Stasis Supplements are created to maximize our patients' experience of true health by bringing mind, body, and spirit back into alignment. Learn more about Stasis Supplements on our website at thevoiceofhealthradio.com. This is The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather. The Voice of Health Wellness Tip featuring Rapid Release Technology. Yeah, we're going to talk about this Rapid Release Technology, or RRT. It's our secret weapon, like to say. It's non-surgical, drug-free treatment option.
Sure.
It's FDA registered high-speed vibration device. It was developed in 2010.
Actually by a chiropractor.
It's a pioneered high-speed vibration therapy. It's focused on the relief of soft tissue problems affecting nerves, muscles, tendons, and ligaments.
There's a lot of different ways that you can get adhesions and scar tissue and different things released. A lot of it can actually be very painful to achieve. And it's one of the things that is not well treated at all in the disease care model up until this point. What they were able to do is come up with a concept of a vibrational instead of a mechanical. it's vibrating at a frequency that they found breaks up tissue that is abnormal. So it actually starts to change it, melt it away. When it does that, then it allows the body to go in there and lay down normal tissue that is fully functioning. The good illustration on that is an opera singer who can sing, and you've got that fine crystal starts to vibrate. And it vibrates at a higher frequency, even to the point where it can even crack. What you're doing with this rapid release is you're creating a vibration, and that doesn't harm normal tissue. As a matter of fact, it actually heals it, gets more circulation, and makes it better functioning. But abnormal tissue, it actually breaks up, and then it helps the body to dissipate it.
Relax muscles and release aches, pains, and tension through Rapid Release's high-speed vibration therapy. Experience the benefits of Rapid Release therapy by scheduling an appointment at Holistic Integration. And to purchase your own, go to our website at thevoiceofhealthradio.com. Click on the Rapid Release banner and enter code PRATHER, PRATHER, for a $100 discount for the Voice of Health Radio listeners. And right now, you can double your savings during our Black Friday sale and receive $200 off the regular price. Now is the best time to buy a Rapid Release Pro3 for just $999 when you go to our website at thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
Hello, it's that time of year again. Time to start marking off those Christmas lists and giving the gift of health to those that you love, which includes yourself. Natrum Naturals is having our biggest sale of the year for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Starting November 14th, we will have a buy one, get one 50% off package deal. So you will get access to both of our infamous gummies, the vegan collagen boost, and the mushroom elixir. We also will be having a site-wide sale where everything is 25% off using the code GET25. That's GET25. So check us out at natrumnaturals.com. That's natrumnaturals.com. And you won't see another deal like this for a year. So if you've been thinking about stocking up, now is your chance.
And I'm feeling good.
You're listening to The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather of Holistic Integration, the most comprehensive wellness center in the Midwest. This week, we're sharing inspiring patient success stories from Holistic Integration, and we're continuing our conversation with Rebecca. So we were talking about, you started the DTS Weight Loss program with the food sensitivity test. Let's talk a little bit more about that.
So once I knew what foods I couldn't eat and what foods I could eat, it did take me a little while at the grocery store. I remember going to the grocery store that first time after getting the results, and you're standing in the grocery store and you're reading all the labels, all the ingredient labels, and I was probably gone for at least 3 hours, and I came home and my husband looked at the bag and he was like, "You got 5 things." And I was like, I could not read another label. I couldn't shop any longer. And so the first couple of times, it did take effort. Mm-hmm. It did take some time. But now I have found a lot of food that I can eat and that I do like. And so it does take some effort in the very beginning. Mm-hmm. But once
all good things, right?
Right. But once you figure that out, that part's not hard anymore.
Yeah, so initially just figuring it out, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've heard too, and I've done the food sensitivity test, people are surprised there are a great amount of food you can have. It's just you're surprised that, like, one of my hot spots is sweet potatoes. Who would think sweet potatoes would create inflammation, but they do in my body. Yeah.
Yeah. I was surprised at peanut butter, because peanut butter was one of the things that I love. And ate quite a bit of. Yeah. And so to find out that peanut butter wasn't the best thing for me, I was like, oh my gosh. But I've been able to go out there and find other nut butters that I like just as much or even more than I liked peanut butter.
Yeah, did you find some foods that you hadn't tried before that you've really enjoyed?
Yeah, I mean, Like I said, I like the peanut butter jelly combo, and so I had to find a preserve that met the criteria, and I actually like it better than what I was having before. And like I said, the other nut butters that I'm allowed to have, I like those much better. I don't have a whole lot of carbs in my diet right now, but for those times when I do have a little bit of carbs, I have found a waffle that I can eat that meets the criteria, and I can put a little bit of maple syrup on that, or a lot of times I just choose to put the preserves on it and eat it that way. So yeah, it takes time to go shopping to find those things, but once you get it down, then your shopping no longer takes you 3 hours to come home with 5 things.
Now, okay, so you did the food sensitivity test. What else does your program entail or did?
At the beginning, there were several supplements that I took. I only take some of those now. I don't take all of them. It kind of changes on what Howard feels I need. I also did the injections.
The homeopathic injections?
Yes, which is 1 injection in the morning and 1 injection at night. Not to be scared of. It's a very small needle and it doesn't hurt. So,
that replaces our HCG. So it's a homeopathic HCG injection. Yeah. And that's what's nice about homeopathy. There's no side effects. It works with your body.
Yeah, definitely.
What else would you like to tell us about the program? Or if, someone listening that has been dealing with excessive body fat and knows they need to do something about it.
There is hope. Because I think that at the point I was at, I was kind of hopeless. So I think that when you are at a place of hopelessness, where you've tried everything that you think you've known to try, it's nice to walk in and to have someone else be able to set you on a path and give you guidance, because you don't have it. But there is guidance. There is someone who can tell you, you need to do this. And then the next week you come in and you'll say, so I struggled with this. And he'll say something else to help in that area. And so I feel like every week when I've come in, I've been able to tell Howard exactly how my week went and where I feel that I could have done better, or maybe that part was difficult, and he'll say something and add the suggestions and help you through it. I mean, he got me through Thanksgiving and about 5 Christmases, so because I was very terrified of Thanksgiving and that many Christmases, and he got me through those. And I did not gain weight during Thanksgiving and Christmas. But that was because he very specifically told me exactly what exercises to do, what time of day to do them, what days to do them, and exactly what to eat the day before Thanksgiving, what to eat before these Christmases, how to address them. And that was just amazing, because then I didn't have to be fearful. I could do those things and then follow exactly what he said to do and make it
I like
through.
what you said, and I know it got you emotional. Just there is hope, and we don't have to be alone in this, right?
Right.
It's so easy to feel alone and feel like it's a downward spiral, but having the accountability with Howard, very helpful. Yeah.
Very helpful. He has definitely helped me every step of the way. I could not have done this without him.
Well, Rebecca, you are inspirational. You've inspired me. I started meeting with Howard. I have some body fat to lose. And just seeing you, and I know you've inspired people that are listening right now.
Listen to the Voice of Health Radio on your smartphone or tablet on all of the top radio apps available. TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. You can find these apps and more on our website at thevoiceofhealthradio.com. This is The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather. Laughter is the best medicine.
George Burns is a phenomenon. At the age of 93, I would guess he is certainly America's oldest active entertainer. And the amazing thing is, I guess the greatest success that George had came in the last 23 years of his life. What number of cigar is this for you today now?
This is my 10th or 11th cigar. I smoke between 15 and 20 cigars a day.
Now, George, hasn't your doctor said to you, now, George, you got
My doctor is dead.
The hell with him, huh?
The Voice of Health Wellness Tip featuring Jace Clinical Solutions, the most trusted CBD brand. Well, what results should people expect with anxiety and stress when they're using the CBD?
Well, that's the main thing, the number one thing that people use it for. Matter of fact, our staff really like our CBD products. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that says about us with anxiety and stress. But
we're helping a lot of people.
The particular ones that we use, I've had a couple staff said that they've been using CBD as soon as it came out, and they find that our products works better than any other ones that they found. Really cutting down on that anxiety, stress type of thing. And that's one of the things that naturally your body is supposed to produce. When you exercise, your natural CBD products that you make in your body increase quite rapidly. So that's why that helps to reduce anxiety and stress and has an effect on the system.
When you exercise.
When you exercise, and a lot of people don't get enough exercise or can't because of pain, you can actually supplement that with a CBD to actually get that into your system.
Well, let's talk about the brain. Why is CBD one of the best products for brain fog?
Brain fog is something that if you have it, you know what you're talking about. Yeah. Where you just can't really concentrate. I don't know what's wrong with me, but, I'm just kind of like...
In a fog.
The best thing that you could possibly do in that type of situation, and you should notice like within a few minutes, things start to lift, is taking the CBD because it stimulates the areas of the brain that gets those receptors kind of going sharp because everything is kind of slowed down. And the CBD actually turns that around and really makes that something that really kicks up at that point.
Go to thevoiceofhealthradio.com, click on the banner for Jace Clinical Solutions CBD products, and enter the code PRATHER, PRATHER, to receive a 25% discount on CBD products you can trust. Are you experiencing muscle pain or tightness anywhere on your body? Try the Rapid Release Therapy Cordless Pro3. The Cordless Pro3 is a targeted high-speed vibration therapy device used by medical professionals to quickly relieve a wide variety of aches and pains. After years of development, the Rapid Release Therapy Cordless Pro3 is the latest in rapid release technology. It's more powerful, quieter, and lightweight with a long battery life, and best of all, it's cordless. Safe, effective, and easy to use, this professional quality medical device has 5 built-in heads, giving you the versatility to treat small bony surfaces, such as fingers, wrists, and ankles, and powerful enough to quickly relax the tightest hips on professional athletes. Unlike the low-speed percussive devices, Rapid Release Therapy delivers for sensitive areas like joints, neck, and ankles safely and comfortably, and provides the raw power your larger muscle groups need. Go to our website at thevoiceofhealthradio.com, click on the Rapid Release banner, and enter code PRATHER, PRATHER, for a $100 discount for the Voice of Health Radio listeners. And right now, you can double your savings during our Black Friday sale and receive $200 off the regular price. Now is the best time to buy a Rapid Release Pro 3 for just $999 when you go to our website at The Voice of Health Radio, inspiring patient success stories from holistic integration. And we're joined by Jack. Jack, we just appreciate you wanting to share your story. And we find that when people share their stories, someone out there will relate to it. And we're all about helping people in their health journey. So we just like to have you just share, first of all, what brought you into holistic integration?
Well, there were 2 events that occurred, one of them 2 years ago, when I sustained a complex tear of the meniscus in my right knee. And the other event that occurred was just last year when my primary care physician retired. And so I'll talk a little bit about that first. I felt like after listening to you and your husband's radio show for the last year or two, I connected with his approach toward health and medicine, a scientific approach, and one that was designed to identify situations or trends that would eventually lead to a serious condition or disease and try to head those off early on. I know that if I was a practicing healthcare specialist, I would want to approach medicine in that way. So one of my reasons for coming here then was to basically get a baseline of my health through the blood work and essentially the Prather profile, which also includes, I believe, a stool analysis kit and hair analysis. And so I wanted to establish that baseline to see if I was in trouble anywhere or if there was anything that might lead to something serious. Now, the other event that I referred to was the complex tear of the meniscus. When the radiologist examined the MRI, there was more than just that listed in his impression. There were a lot of things wrong with this knee, things ranging from degeneration to a ruptured popliteal cyst. And so it was a real mess, basically. Having talked with orthopedic surgeons as well as sports medicine physicians, none of them recommended surgery. They all recommended physical therapy. And so I tried that for 2 years, and I really wasn't getting any better. There were real problems. It was decreasing the quality of my life considerably. And so my wife and I talked about this, and I decided to look into 3 approaches, one being a chiropractic program, the other stem cell therapy, and finally surgery, of course. And I talked with professionals in each of the 3 areas. And I made the decision, probably because of its non-invasive nature, I made the decision to try the chiropractic therapy first. And so I was given a 9-visit program to be assessed on my 10th visit.
And that's here at Holistic Integration.
I chose Holistic Integration. It probably had to do with having listened to it for the last year or so. And so I came here, I was examined, and the program was presented to me. And so I began that. And I think it was about 5 or 6 visits into that program that my wife noticed that I wasn't complaining as much about my condition. And I'm a big complainer. but I
That's good you admit it.
Oh, yeah. But I think the improvement was incremental. But after another visit or 2, I began to notice that I could now walk upstairs and downstairs without any pain, and especially in the outside of my knee. I was able to sit down and stand up, and there were many other movements involving my leg throughout the day, like getting out of a car.
Yeah.
That I could now do these things with either no pain or minimal discomfort. And that was a huge improvement in the quality of my life. And I've not only been able to do that, but I've been able to cut back on the dosage of ibuprofen from 600 milligram dosage per day down to 400, and I pretty much feel the same. So I'm really encouraged by this. Obviously, I'm not completely healed of my problem, but I think it's certainly possible that I won't opt for surgery, at least not in the near future. So that's a big plus for me.
And I want our listeners to know you are a scientist, a professional chemist. As you were making your decision, that's very thorough to look at 3 different approaches and make a decision. Tell us what services you received. You said, let's talk about the knee, the chiropractic. Did you get any other services for the knee in that treatment program?
Yes, the program involved the physical therapy, which, by the way, has involved a variety of strengthening exercises and range of motion, much more than I ever received in the past. My compliments to Megan and Jesse on that. In addition to the physical therapy, there was a decompression, some diathermy. I also went with the acupuncture and then Dr. Dodge's general manipulation. So 4 or 5 particular therapies were involved.
And that was a 9-visit treatment plan.
9 visits.
And they did the reevaluation.
That's correct.
Have you done the reevaluation yet?
I did.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Great. Let's talk about what your first visit experience. You said you did the diagnostics also.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
So have you taken the functional approach also?
I have, yeah. Initially, that was my first and second visit, was to have a look at that baseline from the blood tests. The stool analysis came a little bit later along with the hair analysis, but I originally approached the functional side of your business. And it was a few weeks later that my wife and I made the decision to commit some resources to the structural aspect.
Okay. I understand that. Great.
I would say on the functional side, I'm now aware of a couple issues that I should address. This would not have happened from my typical yearly physical with my primary care physician. So I'm now aware of a couple issues that could down the line result in some physical or health problems. And so I've started to address those also.
And when you said, this wouldn't have happened if you went to your primary care physician, what do you mean by that?
Well, I would have had the yearly physical as I've always had. And I found out after a second visit here that Dr. Prather's normal range for any particular assay is a little bit different than a primary care physician's acceptable range. And so that was one big difference that I noticed. And so some of the values of certain assays that a primary care physician would not have been concerned about, Dr. Prather is concerned about. And so we're taking steps right now before they become a problem in addressing that.
Yeah, and that's what we talk about, the difference between a disease care model and a structure function model.
Exactly, yeah.
Just as a scientist and a chemist, what has been your experience? Because this is a whole different paradigm shift. You've been listening to the radio. How long have you been a listener, did you say?
1 to 2 years,
1 to 2
I
years.
believe. I've just learned so much. There's so much what I would call medical trivia that Dr. Prather talks about, and it's just been very educational. I've gone back and actually listened to some of the podcasts from the past also.
I'm sure there's a lot we can learn from you too.
Thank you.
So if someone's listening out there, something resonated with them, what would you say to them to encourage them in their health journey?
I've given that some thought, and 2 issues come to mind. I think one has to be committed, because getting values back in the acceptable range for Dr. Prather may take some time. This is not going to happen overnight or
With
in a
one
week
pill.
or so. Yeah, exactly. So one would have to be mentally prepared to commit to the program. And I'm only 3 months really into it, but I think that I'm mentally prepared for the long run. And of course, the other thing is the financial commitment, because we're dealing here with services that are not typically reimbursed by insurances. So that was another thing that my wife and I had to come to grips with. But there was just too much on the line to ignore that. And so that would be the other thing that one would have to be prepared for mentally, is a financial commitment to this.
Right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. You're very clear and concise how you made your decision. I love that you included your wife, and and hopefully she'll come in eventually too. That is just really encouraging. So thank you, Jack, for sharing your story today.
Thank you, Mrs. Prather.
Never miss an episode of The Voice of Health so that you can stay informed and empowered about your health. Get a podcast of our show automatically delivered to you every week by signing up for our show on iTunes. You can find that link on our website at thevoiceofhealthradio.com. And don't forget, thevoiceofhealthradio.com has complete archives of all of our past episodes with an audio library of information to help you add more life to your years and more years to your life. This is The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather. The Voice of Health Wellness Tip featuring Natrum Naturals, goodness in a gumdrop. Collagen is very important. Joints,
Colon, liver, kidneys, eyeballs. The reason that you start losing your vision as you get older is collagen breakdown. If you get your collagen up, your vision, your hair, everything starts to come back. Collagen is involved in every single organ and system of your body. It's amazing how many diseases of aging are related to the breakdown of collagen in the system. If your collagen was 100% up to par, you'd look like you're 25 the rest of your life. The healthier your collagen, the healthier your body, and usually the better looking you are. Up until about the age of 20 to 25, it's really at its peak. At that point, it starts to break apart and you start to go downhill. And then 25. All of a sudden, when a woman hits menopause, it rapidly goes downhill. Mm-hmm. If you're looking for the beauty part of youth, you have to go to collagen.
We have actually developed a collagen supplement. We have a new supplement called Natrum Naturals, collagen gummy, and it's had some great results.
The chewable form is definitely the best form to take. Taking it as an oral supplement really is the very best way to get the changes that people are looking for.
Natrum Naturals is doing our biggest sale of the year for 2 weeks only. Buy one, get one 50% off sale. Check out our website, www.natrumnaturals.com. That's NATRUMNATURALS.com. And use the code CYBER50, CYBER50. Our sale ends November 28th.
Natrum Naturals from Holistic Integration, goodness in a gumdrop. Holistic Integration is proud to offer CBD products from Jace Clinical Solutions. There are tens of thousands of studies showing the benefits of CBD products. There is evidence showing CBD can help insomnia and improve both falling asleep and staying asleep. Studies show that CBD can be helpful for addictions by alleviating cravings for alcohol, opioids, stimulants, and cannabis. CBD has also shown promise for chronic pain patients. CBD has also shown great success with various forms of anxiety and has shown promising results with inflammation as well. Many of the CBD products you can purchase are simply not regulated like those from Jace Clinical Solutions. That's why we offer their CBD to our own patients at Holistic Integration. Go to thevoiceofhealthradio.com, click on the banner for Jace Clinical Solutions CBD, and enter the code PRATHER, PRATHER, to receive a 25% discount and learn more about how Jace Clinical Solutions CBD products can benefit you. On Tuesday, December 6th at 6 p.m., Holistic Integration will be hosting an open house featuring Dr. Robert Prather, host of The Voice of Health Radio, and Dr. Clinton Dodge of Holistic Integration. Learn why Dr. Prather refers to the Atlas Orthogonal Chiropractic Adjustment as the most important thing you can do for your health. The Atlas Orthogonal technique is a specialty at Holistic Integration, with patients coming from all over the world, and Dr. Robert Prather is the only board-certified Atlas orthogonist in the state of Indiana. This technique is a gentle and precise adjustment of the top vertebrae of your spine, the atlas. A remarkable 80% of patients actually need this adjustment, and everyone should be checked for this adjustment at least once a year to optimize your health. Refreshments will be provided along with free posture screenings and consults. Attendees will receive a special discount on new patient appointments. The Holistic Integration Open House featuring Dr. Robert Prather, Tuesday, December 6th at 6 p.m. RSVP for this free event by calling Holistic Integration 317-848-8048 or on our website at thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel like it's a beautiful day. So let it get away.
You're listening to The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather of Holistic Integration, where our mission is restoring hope to our patients. This week, we're sharing inspiring patient success stories from Holistic Integration, and we're joined by Emily. Why don't you tell us a little bit and tell our listeners what brought you into Holistic Integration?
Well, what actually first brought me in was I was passing out all the time, and I would pass out and have seizures, or there's been times where I've stopped breathing, or my heart rate has dropped down to like 15 beats a minute, and just really scary stuff. And every time I would go to the doctor, I had also been, like I had vomited blood, and there was just a lot of really strange things happening. And every time I'd go to the doctor, they would do all these tests and then tell me that everything looked good and come back if I had worse problems. And I was just defeated. I was defeated.
And how long ago was this?
Well, this has been over the past, I would say 4 years, it's been pretty bad. I think that my body inside was just sick. I wasn't sick enough to have a real diagnosis like cancer, but I'm sure I was well on my way. I had some real symptoms, but just not anything that was covered on basic testing.
So you were having these symptoms, and then you heard about Holistic Integration?
Well, actually, my mom listens to the podcast all the time.
Oh, okay.
And I had never heard of, I talked to other people that had went to holistic doctors, and I thought, well, that's just for rich people. I can't do that. And my mom listened to this podcast, and she didn't know you guys were here in Indiana. And so she just happened to Google it one day, and she was like, no way. Like, it's right in the
We
backyard.
better mention that we're in Indiana.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing.
We have people from all over the world listening. We know, but that's not a good thing.
And that's kind of what she thought was like, they are probably in California or something, And so she sent me the name of the place and the phone number, and she said, I want you to call them and find out just how much it would cost. And so I did, and I called her back, and she said, well, go ahead and make the appointment. And I did, and I didn't really think a whole lot about it. I was like, here's no trip to the doctor that's not going to do any good. And so we came, and it changed a lot of things for me.
Well, let's talk about, and I have Dr. Dodge here. Welcome, Dr. Dodge, because you also treated Emily, so we're going to have you share whatever you want to share. Let's talk about your first visit. What was that like? So you weren't expecting anything because...
No. I remember I came in, and the medical assistant sat and listened to all my woes, and I think I was probably in there for like 2 hours. Long time. And I was just telling her everything that I've experienced. And so then, I guess it was a nurse practitioner came in, and I remember he looked at me and he said, I'm guessing you don't feel very good. And I could have cried. Like, it was
like a validation of, and you hadn't had that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, okay, maybe I'm not crazy,
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, that's true. But I just thought, and I remember I talked to my mom after I left here and over the next few days, and I let myself start like really feeling the emotions that have been behind how sick I've been. It's not that I want to stuff my emotions, but when you are continually hit a dead end with your health and you get sicker and sicker, I really thought I was going to die. I thought, I'm not meant to have a long life. This is just, and I didn't know of what I was going to die or how soon, but the more I'd pass out and have these horrible experiences, the more scared I got. And so after I came in here and my mom had agreed to pay for some of the diagnostics I ordered for me, I was probably maybe 3 or 4 days, I just cried. Like several times a day, I'd go in the bathroom and I'd just sit there and I'd cry. And I told my mom, I said, I don't think I've let myself feel all the fear and the frustration. And I don't like to complain about where I'm at. I feel like if I'm going to, have any kind of pain and issues, that if I harp on it and live in this victim mentality, it's just going to make it worse than if I just put on a happy face and do the best I can with what I have. So after I left here, I just got into this kind of a hopeful funk. It was like, I thought maybe something can be different.
You felt listened to, someone validated.
I'd hope.
You had hope. You got the diagnostics. And then what services did you receive?
Well, I remember in my first appointment here, Dr. Dodge came in and he kind of squeezed my shoulder and I don't even remember what he said. He said some stuff. And I thought, how in the world does he know where it hurts without hardly, like he doesn't know me. He doesn't know what's going on. I felt like this guy must know something that's wrong with me. Like he just seemed like he knew that you know that there was some things wrong. So one of the things that I ended up having was obviously chiropractic.
It was like every step along the way, she knew more and more that she was in the right place.
So you got chiropractic care. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Emily?
Yes. Yes. So 2 things. One was the tests that they did. They did the X-ray and
Posture screening.
when he talked to me about the bend in my neck and how basically my shoulders responded as if my head weighed 68 pounds, I thought, well, that, because I had all this pain in my shoulders and my neck, and I didn't know what it was, other than I thought, like, I just had fibromyalgia forever. I thought it was just getting worse and this was life. And when he said that, I thought, oh my gosh, it was almost a way to be able to tell, like, people in my family, like, this is why I'm in so much pain. You know, I have a 70-pound head. Can you imagine if that were true and my head actually weighed that much? You know, what my shoulders and my neck would be going through?
But because of the position of your head, your muscles have to work as if it did weigh that much.
Right.
That's why it was so horrible.
It's 43 pounds now.
Which is still not where we want it to be, but
Yeah,
it
it's
gonna get there.
feels night and day different.
Yeah. And then they did the Atlas.
Atlas orthogonal adjustment, yeah.
Yeah, I was not sure about. He did it, and I sat up, and I had had a migraine. This is no joke. I'd had a migraine for probably 3 months straight, and I sat up from that, and it was like night and day. That pain was gone, and it was right at the base of my skull, and it was just. And I thought, well, maybe this just did.
A fluke.
Yeah. So we'll see if this feels better, you know, on the drive home and then later on tonight. And I was not sure that I bought into everything yet. But that was when I started to really think, I wonder if I could have, maybe not no pain. You know, I have degenerative disc and scoliosis and things like that we just can't magically make disappear. But you know, when I started to really consider that I might be able to feel better, it was life-changing.
Did it help with the migraines?
Yep. Yeah. In fact, so I get 9 migraine pills a month, and a month before last, usually I run out. And I even break them in half, and I'll half them. So I get 18 migraines out of a prescription, but I still always run out. And last month I had 7 pills left. 7 whole pills.
7 full pills left.
Yeah, so 14 pills when I went to go get a refill, and I thought, I didn't tell you the last time I had 7 pills when it was time to get a refill, so I knew that things had to feel better. And then I'm doing exercise, which is, Megan is such a blessing.
Yeah, she
You
is.
know,
Yes.
between the two, and the acupuncture, I think, helped a great deal as well. And my mom, God love her, she's the one that's been paying for everything, and she was like, let's do it all. I couldn't thank her enough.
Right. Well,
She's
she
like,
wants her daughter well.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
does. She said,
Mamas
I'll
know
sell
us best.
everything and,
Aw.
and live in an apartment just to help you. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to let you do that. And God's continued to provide for her financially in ways that we didn't even expect to help me continue to pay for this. So
What a blessing.
Yeah. What other results have you seen from your care here?
So on the functional side, I had some strange things. Like I had arsenic in my system.
And that was shown up probably in your hair analysis?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
And then aluminum. I had some liver congestion, pancreas congestion. All my intestinal walls were, I guess, deteriorating, or I don't even remember off the top. There was a lot. And so I started taking the supplements that I got here, and I'm not very good at taking things regularly, and so I was not sure I could do it. But I have. I get up every morning. It's the first thing I do is take all my supplements, and I feel better. Like, I'll have moments where I'll get a little dizzy, but I've not passed out. Last year I had COVID, and then I ended up with mono, and I was just getting sick.
One thing after another.
Yeah, and then a couple weeks ago, all my kids were sick. And I never got a thing.
You never got
and
a thing.
my immune system was shot. I got everything.
Yeah. So you're building up your immune system, which is helping you resist this. So how has it affected you functionally, like your everyday life?
I can't explain it, but I feel better. Just like alive.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was, like I said, not only did I think, I thought the reason I thought I was going to die was because I felt awful. I felt awful.
So if there's someone listening that resonated to something you said, what would you share with them about holistic integration, about hope?
All of the medical stuff aside, I think you guys are just about fantastic. Just the people, even Dr. Dodge here, he'll do. They just, I feel like I belong here. I would probably tell somebody if they were going to a regular doctor and they felt kind of defeated, that it doesn't have to be like that.
Right.
Like, there is a different way. And what I've come to honestly believe is a better way. Because there's something different when you don't throw drugs at something. Here's a prescription, here's 3 more prescriptions. So I would just really encourage people to at least come in, just see. I think that there are many solutions here, and I would highly, highly recommend it.
Well, thank you, Emily. Thank you for sharing your story. I know it's going to be helpful to someone that's listening out there. Holistic Integration is located at 8902 North Meridian Street on the north side of Indianapolis, just south of the I-465 loop. If we can help you to achieve better health, we'd love to hear from you. Connect with our office at 317-848-8048. That's 317-848-8048. Join us again next week or anytime on our website at thevoiceofhealthradio.com for The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather.